I've camped my whole life, and I decided that living in a van for a year to do this would be like one long camping trip. It's a 1975 Chevy van. And I drove off into the sunset. I packed my cat, my Rottweiler, and my camping gear. Having fully failed to realize three critical things. 1, 2, 3. One, society equates living in a permanent structure, even a shack, with having value. 2, I failed to realize how quickly the negative perceptions of other people can impact our reality if we let it. 3, I failed to realize that homelessness is an attitude, not a lifestyle. At first, living in the van was great. I showered in campgrounds, I ate out regularly, and I had time to relax and breathe. Breathe. Then the anger and the depression about my father's death set in. My freelance job ended, and I had to get a full-time job to pay the bills. What had been a really mild spring turned into a miserably hot summer. And it became impossible to park anywhere without it being very obvious that I had a cat and a dog with me. Whenever I could, I used employee showers in office buildings and truck stops. Nighttime temperatures in the van rarely drop below 80 degrees Fahrenheit, making it difficult or impossible to sleep. Food rotted in the heat. Ice in my ice chest melted within hours, and it was pretty miserable. When the heat made me too sick to walk the 50 feet to the public restroom outside my van at night, I used a bucket and a trash bag as a toilet. When winter weather set in, the temperatures dropped below freezing, and they stayed there, and I faced a whole new set of challenges. I felt out of control of my life, and I don't know when or how it happened, but the speed at which I went from being a talented writer and journalist to being a homeless woman living in a van took my breath away. I hadn't changed. My IQ hadn't dropped. My talent, my integrity, my values, everything about me remained the same. But I had changed somehow. I spiraled deeper and deeper into a depression, and eventually someone referred me to a homeless health clinic. I hadn't bathed in 3 days. I was as smelly and as depressed as anyone in line. I just wasn't drunk or high. And when several of the homeless men realized that, they said, "You aren't homeless. Why are you really here?" Was I a writer, or was I a homeless woman? And I cried, because I was a writer. And I started writing again. By the summer of the following year, I was a working journalist. I was winning awards. I was living in my own apartment. I was no longer homeless, and I was no longer invisible. Thousands of people work full and part-time jobs and live in their cars. But society continues to stigmatize and criminalize living in your vehicle or on the streets. So the homeless, the working homeless, primarily remain invisible. if you ever meet one, engage them, encourage them, and offer them hope. The human spirit can overcome anything if it has hope. And I'm not here to be the poster girl for the homeless. I'm not here to encourage you to give money to the next panhandler you meet. But I am here to tell you that based on my experience, people are not where they live, where they sleep, or what their life situation is at any given time. 3 years ago, I was living in a van in a Walmart parking lot. And today, I'm speaking at TED. Hope always finds a way.